Ottawa. Long time ago, we did not surrender this land. We were pushed off, and people who occupy it now must have the responsibility to take care of it. I am going to do a song and prayer. So if you could, please rise and remove your hats. Migoch we are dark jimmy do kakinake go kagi jendang. Migoch kajimmy do on jaki. Migoch on jekakanake go neta ogin, mijashkin, oyagajik kayamit go. Kakinamishkiki kayami jim. Migoch on jekakana wesi zag, kabamo de jig kaneoka de jig, kabamiso jig kaya kabamati jig. Mishkiki o jig, kaya majme o jig. Migoch on jennebi, kaya kakana gaitun one chishing. Migoch on jennese, one gamijan kajiminopomadzian. Migoch on jeshkude, kamijan kajimino abajatorian. Migoch on yoki jig, kaya kakana ete kishum. Kizis to be kizis, kaya no gushag. Migoch on jenamishomasag, nagokamasag, kakana nado demag. Widoka ocean, kajinawakayan. Widoka, we alkajig shaway nemne bujig. Kidamakajig kaya wa wisnajig. Migoch on jenabamadzwin. Mie, kajimigoch. I'd like to introduce to you now, Josh.
Okay. Just going to light a smudge. We have sage from Treaty 6 territory, Musqueam Sagan, Mistahai Sagan, Manitou Sagan. Those are communities where my family comes from, and this beautiful sage grows. I just want to thank Charlene Bearhead also for bringing this sage here to share it with everyone here in this beautiful, beautiful territory. I just want to thank to our little elder Odeshka for welcoming me personally to your territory, but also welcoming everyone here for this very important event on Indigenous languages. Marseille for that, Odeshka. So today I come here for representing the Métis Nation, the Métis community. My grandma was Thelma Chalafu. She was the first Indigenous woman appointed to the Canadian Senate. So I'm very honored that I'm able to keep the work that she's done alive in my family, and also to keep the culture of the Métis people continuing going within my family. So today I did light a smudge. That is a form of prayer that we do in the area that I come from. Usually when we do light it, the smoke, we don't put it out. We wait until the Creator decides that it's time for it to get put out, and the smoke actually carries the prayers up to the Creator too in that case. And everything that we burn is medicine, in that regard. We had to turn off the fire alarms to do it in here. And that's same thing that happens even in Alberta in that sense, where actually the building that I currently live in, I had to tell the building manager that I'm going to smudge there so they don't get freaked out in that sense. So, but it's a work in progress in that regard, and I'm just very grateful that I was able to do that today. So what I'm going to read today is an excerpt from a prayer from a gentleman named by Father Guy Lavallee, and this prayer comes from the 1982 Constitution talks in Ottawa when they were recognizing First Nations, Métis, and Inuit. My grandma was involved during those Constitution talks. You also had folks that you see lots like Harry Daniels, who's mentioned lots, but also too you had folks like Elmer Ghostkeeper from Alberta too, who was involved with those Constitution talks. So this excerpt specifically was written because during that time, during the Constitution talks, the Métis people weren't able to talk about their inherent rights with the federal government, but the federal government told them that they could say a prayer, opening prayer during that event. So my grandma, Harry Daniels, Father Guy Lavallee, folks like Elmer, and a bunch of others who were part of the delegates, they got together and they actually wrote a 20-minute prayer to say during that Constitution talks to ensure that the Métis people had somewhat of a voice there at the event. But it really spoke to the resiliency of those people during that time, and also to I'm very proud when I hear stories of my grandma doing things like that, going to Ottawa and sitting in front of those leaders and just sticking it to their guns, really. It's something that I really do respect, and that's why for me today, when I come and share, it's all because of those people that I'm here today in that sense. Anything that I share, whether if it's a teaching, if it's a story, if it's something that just comes from my community, that's just the bread and butter of it. It comes from somewhere, and it's important to recognize the work that those people did, because they really did pave the way for a lot of us to even host events like this today in that regard. So this particular prayer from Father Guy Lavallee talks about the sash, talks about languages, and it really is a beautiful way to sum up who Métis people are. Métis people, God, have been wearing the sash proudly for many years. When I look at it, I notice that it's composed of many interconnected threads, many strands, many patterns, many colors contribute to the overall design of the sash. Our Métis culture, God, is like the sash. The lives of the Métis have been woven together from a variety of cultures, traditions, and beliefs. For example, God, we are descendants of the English, of the French, of the Cree, of the Ojibwe, and the Scots, just to name a few. We speak a variety of languages, which this event is about today. English, Canadian French, Michif Cree, Muskegon. Look at the sash. It is composite, it is mixture, it is Métis. It is made from a variety of elements like the lives of the Métis. Look at the pattern, its fabric, and its colors. Nonetheless, these disparate elements form an integrated whole, which means we are not mixed, we are one nation. Similarly, the different ethnic backgrounds and different languages of the Métis blend into one another to form a rich tapestry like the lives and culture of the Métis. And that is just an excerpt from a prayer from Father Guy Lavallee during the 1982 Constitution talks. I'm actually interested to find like the full 20 minutes and just kind of read it and see what it said in that regard. But I just want to thank everyone for coming to this event. I want to thank all the organizers in that regard. Once again, thank you, Odeshka, for welcoming me to this territory and welcoming everyone here. And I want to pass it over to my friend, is that Iga? Yes, for the lighting of the kudlik. Say.
Makain. Kuyan na may tabung ako naktitaw gama. Kudlang may ikitinaktilunga. Sali uwan itong nangiman. Tabunga tililaw mga. Tabung ako nakudluninga. Tan nakudlak pikdwa karong man inungnut. Tamang minut. Kisene inuit. Anna si mang mata kudlak takam ninganun. I'm so grateful to be here, since the kudlak is very important for Inuit. We survived because of our ancestors, just because they have kudlak. in a very cold tundra place. I still have a mother, and she's 101, and she'll be 102 in June. She'll be 102 in June. So even up to now, she has kudlik in her little hut. You guys can Google her name, Happy Gatagutsak, and she's popular. So an now mavugut inuktigut kisian kudlik pitakalok si mangmat. Ikiraru tidlugo. Ayong naktuaru tidlugo. Everything. When I remember when I was a kid, we don't have any electricity. No electricity, no stove or anything, no water tap. When I was a kid, my mother only used a kudlik to survive, to cook meal, to bake banik, to boil the water, and to dry the mittens or the clothes above. They have net above it, and they put the clothes there. And in the middle of the night, they use the kudlik overnight. And it's very important for Inuit long ago, even up to now. When we have power off, you can use the kudlik. Yeah. The kudlik, the shape of the kudlik is very important. Everything is important. The shape of it, the oil, the wick, they work together. And so was men and women work together, and kids. Kids used to help their mother finding the wick from the Arctic cotton in the fall. It don't have to be during the summer, only on the fall weather. When those cottons are easy to pick them off. So it really depending on the oil too. They got the oil from blubber, seal, walrus, even polar bear, narwhal, even fish blubber. Nowadays they use the Crisco oil. And long ago they used the kudlik made out of soapstone. Now we use the metal. So what a difference between long ago and nowadays. So the shape of it is important, because when they use the kudlik 24/7, it has to be like the flame have to be even like that. My mother is really picky on the wick and the oil together. If the flames are too high, the black smoke will be flaming, and it goes to the on top of, it'll stick on the roof, and she don't like it. So the polar bear and narwhal blubber, the flame goes nice and shiny or bluish color, very bright. And it doesn't last long, because it sucks the oil faster, because the flames are higher. But the seal blubber lasts longest. But it doesn't, it's not as bright as the polar bear and the narwhal blubber. So they use the seal blubber the most. So if the shape of the kudlik is not shaped properly, the flames won't be straight up. And that means if the flames are too over there, I don't know. I'm still learning in English. If the flame is not straight up, they'll use more oil. The flames has to be straight up. So if the shape is not well made, or this one, they'll use more oil. So they have to be very, that's the importance of the kudlik. So these are the importance of the kudlik. So most of the importance is to work together. Yeah. Thank you.
Nakumik. Aiga. Nista nenaskumun kakya no temtek no akomaganak kerenaskum tenwao. Ogima pesu awase sega seo. Kuskateo maskuses uskungan utsinia. Odeskin kerenaskumtin, Josh kerenaskumtin. Aiga. Nakumik kerenaskumtin istamina. Anumutainan semanto kerenaskumtin. Just a little bit in Cree to acknowledge you all as friends and relatives and introduce myself in Cree. One of my names I carry is King Thunderbird Child, and I'm from Little Black Bear First Nation. English name is Perry Bellegarde, and I acknowledge this young man here, and Aiga for her teachings and her wonderful prayer and song this morning. Welcome you all here this morning, and a very important day, to help launch the decade of the United Nations International Decade for Indigenous languages worldwide. And to start off in a good way, there's all important people here. You're all very important, but I want to acknowledge some names that are on this list here as well. And to get the day started off in a good way, let me tell you, just listening to these young people and I learned so much from Aiga in that her time sharing, you learn so much. How you deal with climate change. We could have just listened for another day here on how to deal with climate change and all the things we need to do as human beings. But our friends and relatives here, we acknowledge Aiga, Nodeshkin, and Josh. Of course, Her Excellency Mary Simon, thank you for being here. And as a patron here as well, John Geiger, I want to acknowledge. And I'm just going to go through the names here. Monica L. Kanayak, I might not pronounce it right. The president of ICC is here. President Jerry Sharp, the interim president of Paktuti. Glenn McCollum from back home. Tawao, Napeo, good to see you here. Ambassador Martinez Serrano, Ambassador of Spain. Ambassador, again, my apologies, Ambassador Hane Eskejar, Ambassador of Denmark. Rhoda Muse, Secretary General for CC UNESCO. There at the back there. As well, our RCGS governors, Nelly Kusugak and Akash Maharaj, they're here. We acknowledge them. And two of our champions in terms of language promotion protection. Dr. Lorna Williams is here. And of course, Chief Willie Littlechild. And they're going to be speaking a little later on. But I just want to acknowledge you all for being here as friends and relatives, men and women. And I apologize if I don't see your masks are on, but you're all very important. But thank you for coming and welcoming me here to our CGS on this very important day. So welcome here. As honorary president of the Royal Canadian Geographic Society, again, I thank all of you for joining us here today at 50 Sussex Drive, the home of Canada's Centre for Geography and Education. We also welcome those of you who are joining us virtually via live stream, and that's on this camera there. So welcome everybody. It's going to be an incredible day that is jointly hosted by the Canadian Commission for UNESCO, Canada Council for the Arts, and the Royal Canadian Geographic Society. And what could be more appropriate than celebrating our languages as Indigenous peoples on Earth Day? because we know that the land shapes our languages, and the teachings in our languages have guided us to care for these lands since the beginning of time. So it's very important. And so for me, this day is important as Indigenous peoples. And we always say we might be 4 or 5% of Canada's population, 38 million people in Canada. And as Indigenous peoples, your Inuit peoples, your Métis people, First Nations people, we're about 4 or 5%. But as Indigenous peoples, one of the most important rights we have is the right to self-determination. And that's because we have our own languages, our own lands, our own laws, our own people, and our own identifiable forms of government. So our language is so important to who we are, our survival as Indigenous peoples. It's linked to the land, but the land is linked to ceremony. The ceremony is linked to, in our case, treaties. Treaty is ceremony. Our relationship with the Crown is ceremony. And that fundamental right to self-determination is so important. So the preservation, the promotion, and the revitalization of Indigenous languages globally is really important to the survival of us as Indigenous peoples. In Canada, we've got 634 First Nations right across Canada. But we have over 60 plus different languages, different nations, different tribes. And many of them are on the verge of extinction because of policies of extinction and termination, from the residential schools to the Indian Act. And we're moving beyond because we say we want to hang on to our languages because we don't want that residential school system to win. And so when we have hope, as we demonstrate these young people here, that's hope that we're still here and we're going to get stronger. Thank you so much for that. In Canada, there is it used to be a bill called Bill C-91. And worked on that bill, but now it's the Official Languages Act, the Indigenous Language Revitalization Act. And we worked on that bill with Minister Pablo Rodriguez. And when we were working on that bill, there was one thing we did. Before we did anything, we took him into a sweat lodge ceremony. And we put him into a sweat lodge to pray about this bill we're working on, this language bill. And it was hot. But whenever we want things to go in a good way, we put ceremony first, always. And that connects us to Creator, but the land and all of our spirit beings. And that was important. And so now we have our language commission, Indigenous Language Commissioner, and the 3 directors. We have lots of work to do yet. Long way to go. And in Cree we'll say akameimo, akameimo. Don't give up, keep going. Perseverance. So the journey to this day has been one that I've walked with many Indigenous leaders in this country. And I couldn't be more pleased to be co-hosting this event this morning with Her Excellency, the Right Honourable Mary Simon. She's the patron of the Royal Canadian Geographic Society. And as I wrote in my welcome statement to Her Excellency as a patron, reconciliation can mean transforming long-standing institutions in Canada. And that means having First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people in leadership roles. And I was so happy to see her selected into that leadership role here. The first Indigenous Governor General of Canada. It shows that we can share so much with Canadian people. We can share our traditional worldviews and our ways of doing things as Indigenous peoples. Her Excellency brings such knowledge of the lands and the Inuit language, which the Royal Canadian Geographic Society welcomes wholeheartedly. So with that, I want to welcome Her Excellency, the Right Honourable Mary Simon, Governor General of Canada, to the podium to share her message of hope for the decade.
Ulakut. Good morning. Bonjour. sibulimi inuktitu kaina pero majunga tukisinatsiatuni ojalima kaina gabi aga atagutseak tan unika kaina man hulliu piusito hanganik atukto hatta simajumin inut suta okioktatumi tanna tusimamma tanna hullitaitsumanigiak oqogutitu twinlu igagutitu twinlu piusaq piusimagat ma ubattinu inu hatigi tutigun. So first I just want to acknowledge the words that were expressed by Aiga Atagutseak and how the kudlik had such a significant role in the lives of Inuit in the Arctic. And even today, it's really important for us to use it as a symbol of our heritage and our traditions. So I just wanted to thank Aiga. And there are two young gentlemen. I'm very bad at remembering names, so I just want to thank you for speaking your language as well and to express the traditions that you have in your culture. So thank you for that. So first of all, I'd like to acknowledge that we are gathered on the unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe people. And I really want to thank Mr. Geiger and Mr. Bellegarde for inviting me to this celebration as we launch the UN International Decade of Indigenous Languages. Merci de m'avoir invité à cette célébration marquant le lancement de la décennie internationale des langues autochtones de ONU. Inutiturer la kainapi gumayunga tamanna ohausibut pimariumat inutuino suta atutsiare haratigu. Inuit amisut uhausumini puigoksimajut rumangikaluaksutit tamatsumunga kabamakupinyani rasimayanganut sukkutau simajutamanna uhausibut ammalu ilukusita ilanga kisia nakaluaktilugu saalaw simangitugun saalaw simanginatta taanna uhausibut atutsiareahaktabutay mangalimak ammalu inusuttuapi ubikkait inuttitu reahangningi ananagijautsuta ataatagijautsuttalu ila anantsiangulattungali anantsialuqhiusungalu ikajureahaktugut sapumigiahaktugut inuttituurunnaningit asiuhunangimata haujimagattalu ullumi nukirpaliaju uhausibut qaluaqtilugu utiqpaliatitsingareahaqatta taanna ullumi atuktabut nakomerutigijaga. I just wanted to express some views about the Inuktitut language. As we all know, and talked about it many times, it is part of our identity and culture. But over history, as we have seen, many languages have become, indigenous languages have become extinct. Inuktitut has been one of the stronger languages, but we still see that it has been weakening. So we need to support and make an effort to allow it not just to be protected, but to grow as a language. And I think we all have a responsibility, whether we're grandmothers or great-grandmothers, like I said, and parents. If we can speak the language, let's make sure that we speak it to our family and our friends. And in the community, if it's a community that uses the language, then please participate in that effort to keep our language protected and to allow it to grow in the future, because it is very much an integral part of our identity, and we need to use every tool that we have to protect Indigenous languages. I think we can all agree that there is no better way of preserving and enhancing one's language by using it, as I just said. And we use it every possible way in any venue that we're able to. I did that during the time I gave the throne speech a few months ago. I made sure that I used Inuktitut in both my installation when I became Governor General and also during the throne speech, because I think for me to use it and to speak it is important. I think it will give the kind of hope that we need to keep our languages healthy and alive. So, like a lot of Indigenous kids, I grew up speaking only Inuktitut, and I learned English in the Federal Day School in my community as a second language. At home, we only spoke Inuktitut because my mother and my grandmother were unilingual Inuit, and my father, who was born in Manitoba, who was non-Indigenous, did learn to speak the language early on when he went to the Arctic and became very fluent in Inuktitut. So that was the language that we spoke. And I thank my family every day for giving me the opportunity to really learn the language and to have an in-depth understanding of what language means to each and every one of us. So when I was going to school in my home community of Kuujjuaq, my friends and I and our schoolmates were prevented from speaking our language. This was in the one-room class school that we had, and also on school grounds in the playground. If we got caught speaking Inuktitut, we were punished for speaking it. And this was even in my community, not just in residential schools, but in our community as well. Early on, when we only had the federal state schools where we were only taught up to grade 6. So I wasn't the only one that had this experience. I think residential schools, as we all know, really did attempt to strip away our identity as Indigenous people. In many cases, churches, governments eradicated Indigenous languages through their corrupt policies. Many Indigenous languages have been lost because of residential schools, colonization, and the assimilation policies of churches and governments. Indigenous peoples have lost many languages. Not by choice. This was not a choice people made, but it was done by force. Sometimes physical force, sometimes mental force, but it was done through force. But I do want to say, however, that Indigenous people have shown great strength and resiliency despite many years of adversity and assimilation policies. Our cultures and our identities have survived. And it all starts with the use and protection of languages. It starts by recognizing the relationship between health of our Indigenous languages and the well-being of our peoples and our communities. I have great hope for the future, for the next decade, but it will take work and commitment from all of us. J'ai beaucoup d'espoir pour l'avenir, pour la prochaine décennie. You can tell I'm still learning French. But I'm trying. So I see a lot of people here that probably have very different languages in their heart and in their identity. And I know that you have all come together to promote and to encourage and protect Indigenous languages, which is really critically important for reconciliation. So I've been talking about reconciliation a lot since I was appointed, because it's time for us as a country to seek each other, to understand each other's cultures, each other's identities, each other's languages, and learn to have the space needed to respect and allow people to live their identities without sacrificing. I think equal opportunity will allow us to develop in this way as a country. La réconciliation n'est pas un projet ou une action unique, et elle n'est pas de date définie. It's acting every day towards understanding and respect. It's recognizing the truth and our country's true history. And it's giving support for cultures and languages to thrive. Reconciliation is allowing children to learn in their mother tongue and creating safe spaces where they can succeed while speaking in their language of choice. As the Governor General, I have a role to play by using Inuktitut at every opportunity and educating people about Indigenous cultures and languages as a whole. Throughout this past year, I have frequently used the word in Inuktitut, teaching Canadians about Ayuinata, which is an important concept vital for Inuit, and a word that speaks directly to what you're doing here today and what you will be doing during the next decade and beyond. It holds many meanings. It's committing yourselves to action, no matter how daunting the cause may be. And it means to never give up. Keep going, keep reaching, keep working. So I want to thank all of you for your dedication and commitment. You embody the spirit of Ayuinata in your work, striving to pass on our languages to the next generation. In particular, I am grateful to the organizers, the Royal Canadian Geographic Society, the Canadian Commission for UNESCO, and the Canada Council for the Arts for including me in this event and for your work to further reconciliation in our communities. And to all the young people, I encourage you to continue your efforts to learn the languages, and I know the preservation of our diverse cultures will succeed with you leading the change. I believe in you, your actions, your devotion to this cause. Let us all work together in the next decade so that Indigenous languages thrive for generations to come. Thank you, Nakokmik, Miigwech. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for those fantastic words and that inspirational message. In Cree, we have a word, miwa sin, when it's good. But when it's really, really good, it's miwa sensational. So that was your speech. So thank you so much for sharing those great words of inspiration, and again to everybody for listening, for your attention. So this morning we heard a lot of words, good words, and hope was always there. Hope. And you always try to leave more hope in a room than when you walked into it. And so with those good messages from our young people, from our Excellency, Governor General of Canada, the next three people I'm going to be calling up, we're in for a really good treat, because we're going to have the pleasure of hearing from three young people this morning as they share their love of their respective cultures through music. And we know music is so important. It speaks to all of us, that language. And some of you might remember a few years back, a social media sensation that 3 years ago, when this incredible young woman posted a video of herself singing the Beatles song, Blackbird. And it was sung like it has never been sung before, because it was sung in Mi'kmaq. And it was so awesome. So if you guys can Google it and search this thing, I think, on these things called internet. But From that day forward, we couldn't get enough of Emma Stevens. So great news today, everybody. She's here with us all the way from Eskazoni First Nation, and she's ready to sing in celebration of the Mi'kmaq language and all Indigenous languages. So Emma, please come on up and gift us with the sound of your beautiful voice and your beautiful Mi'kmaq language. Put your hands together.
Hi, my name is Emma Stevens, and I'm from Eskasoni. And it's a joy to be here tonight, today, in the morning. I hope you guys enjoy what we have for you today, and same with everyone else who's going to come up today. So the first song that we're going to perform is a song called I Wanna Rise. And it is a song for the MMIW movement, the Missing and Murdered Indigenous movement. And that's all I have right now. I'm just waiting for him. Is it too loud? As ready as 11. I dream at night of the city lights, the sights and the sounds and the feel of the wind in my hair, the open road, and the stars in the sky as I wheel from the hills to the shore of this little town. My heart aches for what could be, so close yet so far away to me. And I can't wait for all the world to see. I wanna rise, I wanna fly, spread my wings, leave the ground and touch the sky. I wanna walk this path, this winding road with you. I wanna rise like an eagle in flight, out of the dark, take back the night, and bring your voice into the light. I wanna rise. These are the days that hearts can break, and this is the time and the place. I don't know what to think, what to say, how to feel, what is real and what is fake. Can you hear me scream? Can you hear me roar? Can you see me? I'm right here with my heart on my sleeve and my hands in the air. And I can't wait to meet you when I'm there. I wanna rise, I wanna fly, spread my wings, leave the ground and touch the sky. I wanna walk this path, this winding road with you. I wanna rise like an eagle in flight, out of the dark, take back the night, and bring your voice into the light. I wanna rise. I wanna rise. Two rays of light shine bright in the night for all the world to see. From the stars in the sky to the clouds above, to the depths of the deep blue sea. Can you feel my breath on the wind tonight? Can you hear my voice in the air? Wherever you go, I'll be there. I wanna rise, I wanna fly, spread my wings, leave the ground and touch the sky. I wanna walk this path, this winding road with you. I wanna rise like an eagle in flight, out of the dark, take back the night, and bring your voice into the light. I wanna rise, I wanna fly, spread my wings, leave the ground and touch the sky. I wanna walk this path, this winding road with you. I wanna rise like an eagle in flight, out of the dark, take back the night, bring your voice into the light, spread my wings and take flight. I wanna rise. So this next song, I don't perform it usually because it's not mine. But since this is a language event, I decided to do a song that's fully in Mi'kmaq, and it was written by a friend of ours. Her name is Galalyn Johnson. She's very amazing. You should look up her songs on YouTube. Yeah. Kies na wedgie, Dante Delie, is a berry quellamu, so sari kelnamu, chabasi kenuk. Don't you go here? I'll miss you where you do. Kiss na quilu. The light of salty, good chip, Jolin said to me, well, God don't need to lay naked. A chip, Joe, God, a man, ooh, they need, get salty. That's one of my favorites. Before I talk about the next song, the last word, gesaltig, means we love each other. So a song is all about love. So, the next song we're gonna sing is a song this is the first song that I've ever recorded. It was a school project, and it's a love song for Cape Breton, where I'm from, most beautiful place on earth. No offense. And I'm going to give a little shout out real quick. It was written by this man right here. His name is Carter Chason. And the first song was also written by him. And we're just going to sing it now. Oh, yeah. I forgot something. There's a line on every chorus at the end, and it says "Weda Bixi Unamagi," and it means that my roots are in Cape Breton, and I'm from Cape Breton. So I just wanted you guys all to know that. Old ways live on in the land of the dawn, in the hearts of the old and the young, where the sweet grass grows so wild and so free, where the big sea, Unamagi. On Brador from shore to shore, a treasure I'll say no more. As the sun sinks low, the moon lights the snow, and the stars sing Unamagi. Unamagi. My way at a league through the valleys and glens, from the hills to the sea, where the big sea, Unamagi. We gather at night by sacred firelight, one with the earth and the sky. Grandfathers burn bright, brighter than light, all across Unamagi. Unamagi, don't tell make my way at a league through the valleys and glens, from the hills to the sea, where the big sea, Unamagi. Kisul Gwalolin Don Teli Galin Wala Minigu Yapchu Idistan Mudan Kamalamun Edali Samkuwe. From sunrise to sunset, and and all through the night, my heart's on the island of Isles. In the land of the dawn, the heartbeat is strong, the heartbeat of Unamagi. Unamagi, don't tell Jiwelamu, Megamawe Edaligana. Through the valleys and glens, from the hills to the sea, where the big sea, Unamagi. This place is for you, this place is for me, where the big sea, my Unamagi. This last song is what was introduced in the beginning, Blackbird. The reason why we were going to do the song anyway, but the reason why we were going to do it is this song was recorded for the year of Indigenous languages, so we thought it was appropriate to perform it at the decade of Indigenous languages. So as you all might know, this song is in my language and it was written by Paul McCartney. This song has given us so many opportunities. It's insane. And I'm really grateful for it. And it has given us one opportunity that is very special to both me and Carter, and it was meeting Paul McCartney himself. Right? I need water. Oh, she's rushing to get some water. You can continue tuning. How's everybody's day? Good, good, that's good. Your day hasn't started yet, it's morning, I just forgot.
Water. We can give a shout out to Chief Leroy Denny from Eskasoni as well, because I know he'd be very proud of you as his First Nation
That's
citizen.
my bro.
Yeah, Chief Leroy Denny. So, and the Eagles, your junior beat, your junior, are they still in the?
I don't watch hockey.
No. He was texting me. He said, "Give a shout out to the Eagles." I said, "Okay, I will."
Why does he want to give a shout out to the Eagles? Freaking Leroy.
Okay, that's enough filibustering. You're gonna have to sing now.
Unless you want to sing.
No.
Okay.
Iskiej wabenento Ganama si de laidadink Del bedausen Eskomado musem negnige minjasen Iskiej wabenento Ola benike na mereke Del bedausen Eskomado musem negnige seyasen Budeliskiej Laija si Dan was a tek wanik baik tu
No one gets tricked anymore.
Bulaliski Ejwabanihanta Kanama Sita Laidadink Delbidausin Eskamada Musab Negnige Minjasin Eskamada Musab Negnige Minjasin Eskamada Musab Negnige Minjasin.
Bulalio. That means thank you.
Good job. Emma. Good job. That was amazing. Let's hear it one more time for Emma, all the way from Eskasoni. It's a wonderful gift to listen to that. I think your mom was singing along with every word. Yeah. So that was an inspiration and hope from the east. We're going to go to the west now. And we're going to look towards the west now as we welcome Zachary Willier up next. Zach is 17 years old. He's graduating from high school this year. And he's been playing the fiddle since he was 9 years old at Prince Charles School in Edmonton. So as soon as he picked it up, he never stopped playing. Zach is a member of the Sucker Creek First Nation, has family in East Prairie and Elizabeth Métis settlements, as well as the Lac St. Anne area of Alberta. Proud of his Métis heritage, Zach has a real love for the music. He was honored in 2020 to be selected to represent Alberta as a junior showcase performer at the Canadian Grand Masters Virtual Fiddle Celebration. So without any further ado, I present to you Zachary Willier.
Oh, you ain't ready yet? Okay, now we're on. Live on air now. All right. Well, howdy there, folks. My name is Zach Willier. Like the gracious introduction by Chief Bellegarde. Well, and thank you, by the way. It's a very, very big honor of mine to be here this morning. So we're gonna smoke a little bit here with a great Métis tune. This one's called the Big John McNeil. And to be honest with you, it's traditionally, it's not a Métis tune, but I think it was brought over from Scotland, actually, and the Métis have kind of taken it as their own. So here we go. Big John McDeal. I think the sound's a little bit too high if I don't know, maybe I'm getting a little too picky, but. Okay, so you know what? How about we do one of the most famous Métis tunes out there? And this is such a special tune that it requires special tuning. So I tuned the G up to an A, and there was an old fiddle player from Manitoba. His name's Mel Bedard, He was a fantastic fiddle player, and he said, if you don't cross-tune the fiddle, if you just leave it in standard, that's the white man way, the Mooneyar way. And if you just... But if you keep it up, that's the Métis way. If you tune it, that's the Métis way. So we're going to play the Métis way. Okay, little Red River Jig. And if you feel so inclined to get up and jig, please, you're more than welcome. Old Red River Jig, that's a real fine tune. Now we're going to slow it down a little bit. You know, this song is really synonymous with Métis fiddle music, and it's not traditional, but, you know, I really love to play it and play it in a lot of my shows, you know, and this one's called the Teardrop Waltz. It's written by another Manitoba fiddle player, Reg Bovet. He has a lot of records and whatnot, Sunshine Records, and he co-wrote it with a fella by the name of Jimmy Flett. So they wrote this song, and it, like I said, the Teardrop Waltz. So it's a real pretty song, and it uses a lot of double stops, so two strings at the same time, and that's real synonymous with Métis fiddle music. got time for a couple more, maybe two more here. And, well, I think I want to play, I guess I should have been a little bit more prepared, to be honest, but, well, I want to do one of my absolute favorite tunes, and it was written by a Métis fiddler, again from Manitoba. Boy, Manitoba was really releasing all these fiddle players. Yeah, lots of fiddle players from there. Anyway, who wrote this tune is kind of the savior to Métis fiddle music, because he was one of the very first fiddlers who actually put it on record. Mind you, back in the 50s and 60s. His name is Andy Desjardins, and he was from Woodridge, Manitoba. He's a big hero of mine, and so he wrote this tune. It's called The Lucky Trapper's Reel, and it also has another name, The Unlucky Muskrat. So here we go. Hope you folks enjoy. I'm going to send you off with a real smoking tune. This one is actually an American tune, but to be honest with you, the Métis have really taken it as their own and really accepted it as their own, like I said. And yeah, so it's a really dang fine tune. So we're going to we're going to send you off with this one. It's called The Orange Blossom Special. It's written by Irvin T. Ross. Woo! Haven't started yet. Talk about your traveling. She's the fastest train on the line. Well, talk about your traveling. She's the fastest train on the line. I'm gonna ride that orange blossom special. Lose these Ottawa blues. Well, I'm going down to Florida. Gonna get a little sand in my shoes. Well, I'm going down to Florida, gonna get a little sand in my shoes, gonna ride that orange blossom special. She's bringing my baby back.
Holy smokers! Wow, Zach, you little... That was amazing. That was such a fantastic treat, Zach. That was amazing. You're such a gifted violinist, fiddler, like whatever you want to say, but your voice, whole, you can say, I like that voice. You got it. You're going to do great things. We're going to know that name, Zach Willier, from here on in. Fantastic. So we've had an amazing start to this day, friends and relatives. We have one more artist yet to perform. We went from the east to the west. We're going to look north now. So Beatrice Deer is an Inuk Mohawk singer born and raised in Quatak, Nunavik, but has been living in Montreal since 2007. When she released her debut album in 2005, her talent was quickly recognized. Beatrice won the Indigenous Music Award for Best Inuit Cultural Album that same year and has released many more albums since then. Last year, she was a laureate at the Canadian Indigenous Music Awards. Beatrice Deer performs throughout Canada and the North with her band, and we are very pleased and delighted and honored that she was able to make it here to be with us today. So please join me in giving a warm welcome to the Beatrice Deer Band.
Ulakot. Biakakaw na kinuakto. Nga kami. Thank you so much for having us here. Chris is my bandmate that I picked up along the way. It's an honor to be here in front of Mr. Bellegarde and the Honorable Mary Simon and everyone else. It's a real privilege to be able to speak our language when so many have unfortunately lost it. So it's our responsibility to teach and practice our native language. So here's a song. Taku Yoksugit. It means the first time I saw you, and I'm sure you can imagine what that's about. It's about a Nakomik. That steak was delicious. Just kidding, it was about a guy. No, it's not Chris. This next one is called Christmas. Back home, where I'm from in Nunavik, the accordion music is our way of celebrating Christmas very much. And I grew up listening to that. My mother is an accordion player. My uncle, my late uncle, was an amazing accordion player. So every Christmas, we all gather at the community gymnasium and we dance. We square dance. And that's just how we celebrate. Christmas isn't Christmas without that. So this song is about that. Actually, it's a love song. It's about meeting my baby daddy, my baby's father, at the Christmas dance, and how I asked him to dance with me for New Year's Eve. Us Inuit women are not shy to get a dancing partner. Aye, do the women agree here? Raise your hands. So yeah, so this song is about that, and how I want to dance with my partner. My baby's not having it. Okay, how I want to dance with him forever.
Katigil lao yu vagi Dani sakti lugi Ino wasalui Ino wasalui Dani sakti Dani siromatsunga Apirilaw yuvagi Ritingo marilepa Dani silepada Ino wasalui Dani silepada Dani sila kino Ino wasalui Dani sila pada
Nakomik. All of our music is available online. We just released our last record in December. It's called Shifting. And we're going to play an old tune called Nunaga. And it's a poem about the beauty of our land, my land in Huactac, how it's the peace and quiet is like no other. It's the tundra, and when the sun is setting, the sky turns red, and the water is like a mirror. So it's the water and the sky is red, and it's just beautiful and very calming. And in the springtime, the birds come back. Yeah, so this song is about the beauty of the land.
Nunaga piyalo ulong nasi toma sekining ni pito hilalo au paksivo Imarlo ikule asuni Takadu diu yalito Sunalunid ni pakarani Ula persaw te haliko Ukiu si maluhan ito Abudino dang nuivo Nuna luha koksivo Solo ayong ni hangito Upeng asa sigivo Hopano atikileko Pirok tuit piroleko
Nakomi. Thank you so much for welcoming me and Chris.
Ulusut Seritsi.
Wow. Nakomik Beatrice, that was so amazing. Thank you so much. That was just, you can feel it. Thank you so much. Amazing. So, well, my friends, that wraps up an incredible morning together. And what a way to kick off this important day. So again, to Emma Stevens, Zach Willier, and Beatrice Deer, round of applause for sharing. For Excellency Mary Simon, for your strong words, powerful words, inspirational words on reconciliation, hope, and inspiration. Thank you so much this morning. And as well, now I have to look at the camera. It's live. To those of you joining us via live stream, we will meet you right back here at 1:45 Eastern Time to hear from my good friend Chief Willie Littlechild as he introduces you to the Powerhouse Circle discussion that we've got lined up here. Make sure to tune in again to listen to incredible language and culture bearers as they share about the work they've done and all their hopes and dreams for this decade on Indigenous languages. For those of you here at 50 Sussex, we have the opportunity to get to know one another a little better over lunch. You'll notice on your name tag that there is a name of an Indigenous language that will coincide with the names of the tables in the gallery upstairs. So, if you got your tag, I'm at the Mi'kmaq table, so that's where I'm going to be at. So you got your tags, and we're going to find that. So find the matching table, and you'll see another name tag at your seat. So enjoy your lunch, and let's all get together back here at 1:35 for the panel. Ego se for this part. Naskum tinawao.